Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing out there? Man, feeling good today. How you feeling? Feeling all right? This is Gus Tucker. It's Financial Freedom Fridays. Hope you're doing well and you're having a good day and everything's going the way it should. Hey, I want to get some feedback from you guys. I'm going to start having some guests on the show in different areas. I'm a part of a business team. There's a group of us that got together and formed a company called Financial Pro Network. Financial Pro Network. And we're one of the largest groups of people of color in the insurance and investments and financial services industry. And there's several hundred of us strong, and we're growing like a weed. So I'm going to have some of the leaders of our company on to talk about various financial issues, because we are here to bring financial education to the forefront. Okay, to bring financial education to the forefront. We want to continue to use this podcast to do that. And we want to make sure that you have the tools to win financially. Does that make sense? That it takes some tools to win financially? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. In these United States of America, you got to have your financial game plan in order, okay? So we're going to just get into it. But I would like to know, what topics would you like to see covered? I can bring some experts on in those areas to have a conversation about questions that you have. So please hit me up on email, get it over to blackdoctor.org. Let us know what topics you would like to have covered, what things you would like to have discussed. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you very much. Because you can drive the content that's in the show. Okay? We're doing what we think would be helpful, but we need to hear from you, okay? We need to hear from you. So let's get started, okay? Black History Month is winding up, but hey, every month is Black History Month, as far as I'm concerned. So this slide might be around until, I don't know, the rest of the year. It's still Black History Month in my mind, because every month is Black History Month, okay? Now, one of the things that we're seeking to do with this podcast is change your perspective, because what you see is from where you sit. And as you learn new things, you know, a friend of mine talked about being in different rooms. When you get in different rooms with different people, you learn different information. If you're in the same rooms you were in 5 years ago, that's not good. If you're in the same rooms you were a year ago, that's not good. You need to be in different rooms with different people, learning different information, so you continue to grow yourself. Does that make sense? So what you see is from where you sit. So you want to keep changing where you're sitting and getting a better and better perspective. The best place I believe you can be sitting is at the right hand of God, understanding life from his perspective. He's called us to be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and to rule, not over other people, but over the circumstances in our life, so that we can create the outcomes that he would have for us. So he wants us to be something first, and then do something, and then have something. The strategy goes like that: be, do, have. We work on our character, our personal development, then we work on our actions, our skills, and then we'll have what it is that we want going forward. That's the order it happens in. This is talking about the year of the Lord's favor. That is our theme for this year. Matter of fact, I got this. I don't know if you can see this. I got little stickers all over the place. This is the year of the Lord's favor. Why is that? In the biblical text, every 7 years, they had something called the year of Jubilee. People were out of debt. Their property reverted back to them. If they were an indentured servant, they got their freedom every 7 years. And every 50 years, there was a super like Jubilee. So now when Jesus came, it's the year of Jubilee for all of us, where you've got a promised land you can enter into if you're willing to take action. So here, we talked about these 4 basic strategies for creating cash flow, okay? There's E for employee, where you trade hours for dollars, or you work for a salary or that kind of thing. And the limitation there is they don't pay you what you're worth. They pay you what the job is worth. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't pay you what you're worth. They pay you what your particular job at the company is worth. So you've got a limit on your income based on what they're willing to pay for that particular job. Does that make sense? Self-employed, that's you owning your own job. But you have to turn out so much work to get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid. And there's a limit to what you can charge for your personal services. And you can only do so much personally. And that's the ceiling on your income. Next is a business owner. A business owner builds a team and a system that multiplies their efforts. You got that? So if you aren't building a team and building systems so people can run a business that creates income without you, then you're never going to be able to stop working, because typically it takes a real long time to save enough money to be able to retire. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Then an investor is somebody who invests in other business owners. They're good at evaluating systems and they invest their money in those systems. Then their money becomes their employee. Okay. So what's your plan for increasing your cash flow in 2024? What's your game plan? What are you going to do to grow your income by double, triple, 4, 5, 10x, 20x? How are you going to do that? What's your game plan? Okay, what's your game plan for doing that? It's 3 types of income, basically, and we just talked about it. You exchange your time for money. That's job income. That's the E and the S. Okay, portfolio income is about investing, putting your money. You buy an investment, and it goes up in value. You sell it, and you create income from that portfolio. It could be anything you invest in: real estate, currencies, cryptocurrencies, whatever it is you're investing in, you invest in it, it goes up in value, you sell it, and there's portfolio income. And then there's another income called passive income or passive cash flow or residual cash flow. You build an asset of some sort that makes money for you when you're not there. Okay? The rental income that I have coming in, I don't have to do it every month. The house is built, the people are in there. The rents come in. You understand what I'm saying? So what passive income streams do you have going? So those are the 3 types of income. I encourage you to focus on creating more portfolio income and more passive or residual income from some asset that you have available to you. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. All right. Now, financial discovery. We have to get organized, people. We have to get our finances organized. Okay? And you're going to end up looking at these. We've got it organized as 8 financial breakthroughs at Financial Pro Network. This is what we talk about. Your financial awareness, understanding your relationship with money, how you treat money, how you look at money, protection from threats, things that are going to threaten. Like I was sitting with a client in Ohio, on Zoom. I'm in Illinois, they're in Ohio, and they were talking about a 26-year-old friend of theirs passed away, and they had at least one child. So that was a threat to her family, was her passing away. And she was pretty much uninsured. So she left those young children unprotected. So what kind of threats? Loss of a job, loss of income, loss of your life, loss of your health. How do you protect yourself from those threats? Let's look at your cash flow today. How's your cash flow today? How's your debt to income ratio? What's your strategy for how you manage debt? What's your liquidity? How much money do you have on hand to take advantage of opportunities that come along? Something came across my desk, an investment opportunity to invest in a social media company that's doing pretty well, and it's got a great strategy. And looks, I'm gonna take them up on it. How much cash do you have around to take advantage of investments that cross your desk? What's your goal for future income and net worth so you can, I don't know what you call retirement, but not have to work for money anymore? What's your strategy for that? What's your legacy and succession plan? How are you setting up the next generation? And then who are you accountable to make all this stuff happen? So this is the tool we use at Financial Pro Network to help people win in the money game. Okay? And if this sounds like it makes some sense, hit me up, get one. So what's your goal? What's our goal? This is the purpose of our financial discovery. And I encourage you that this should be the goal for your financial. You don't should on people. So I would encourage you to think through what your financial goals are. Okay? The purpose of the financial discovery, my conviction, my thought is to develop a plan that organizes the family's finances and cash flow to create a financially independent, debt-free family. Well, we kind of know what debt-free is. You don't owe anybody any money. Not bad debt. You can have good debt that you're making money on, but not bad debt that's in non-producing assets. You understand what I'm saying? Like credit cards, like a car, not a car that's a part of a money that's an asset that is in Turo or something that you're leasing out to make. No, but just generally speaking, cars that don't appreciate in value. Okay, consumer kind of products. How do you manage debt? So financial independence means that at some time in the future, whatever your financial freedom date is, what does financial freedom mean? Here's what it means. That the cash flow from your investments, your real estate, your businesses, and intellectual property is higher than your monthly expenses. So what does that mean? You don't have to wake up each morning and go to work. Your assets wake up and go to work. Your investments, your real estate, your businesses, your intellectual property, they wake up and go to work. You wake up and go to living. Does that make sense? Your assets work up, they go to work, you wake up and you go to living. What's living? You decide what that is. Time with your family, kids, grandkids, time with your wife, whatever it is whatever life is to you. So does this seem like a worthwhile goal for you to create a debt-free, financially independent lifestyle? Think about it for a second. Would that be worth it to you to get organized and have a game plan so you can make that happen? Because that's not going to happen just by accident. Okay. Anybody got a watch? Do you have a watch? What did I do with that watch? Here it is. See this watch? If you took the parts of this watch and you took it apart and you threw it into a washing machine or a dryer, you took the parts and you just threw it in there, how long would it take for a watch to come out? If you just threw the parts in there. Would you ever get a watch come out? No. Because it'd have to be somebody with a brain to take the parts and put it together to make a watch. Same with your finances. You can't just throw them out there without a plan and expect it to come together for financial independence. It's not going to happen. Does that make sense? So what do I suggest you do? I suggest you do this. One, we got to determine what your current cash flow position is. So when you get this discovery, we're going to get all the data. I'm about to show you what the data is in a minute. Catch all your data and figure out what cash flow position you're in. You can only be in one of three cash flow positions where your income is greater than your monthly expenses. And so you have a positive margin or positive cash flow. Or your income is equal to your expenses and you have zero margin or cash flow. Or your income is less than your expenses and you have negative margin or cash flow. Do you know where you're at right now? Do you know where you're at right now? Exactly. Just asking. Okay. So that's one of the first things we got to figure out. How do we do that? The financial discovery. The financial discovery. We got to know which one of these positions you're in, because based on where you're at, we're going to take different strategies to improve your situation. Each one of these situations can be improved. Even if you have positive marginal cash flow, you can get more positive. You can get more positive. Okay? So let's keep going. Let me show you something. Key habits or principles to apply. This is a pretty simple plan to understand, but it's hard to execute. Why is that? You're a human being, and there are all kinds of influences out there trying to separate you from your money. Whether it's your phone, your computer, driving down the street, billboards, everything's stores you drive at, everything's about separating you from your money. Think about that tomorrow when you're out and about. Just look around. Everything that you look at is a place you go in and leave your money there. Think about it. It's a store every 5 feet. Never thought about it like that. Oh, yeah. So what are the key habits or principles to apply? 1, spend less than you make. Spend less money than you make. If you save or invest 10% of your income, you're going to be poor. If you save or invest 20%, you're going to be middle class. You have to save 30% more to build wealth. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Next, you got to get out of debt. You got to get out of consumer debt, because if you're in consumer debt, you're giving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to your creditors. Money that could be making money for you is making money for somebody else. So we got to turn that around as soon as possible. Then you have to have a minimum of 3 sets of financial accounts. You got some 0 to 1 year accounts. That's stuff you need to live on right now. And you have a minimum of 3-month living expenses in that account, because things happen and you need to be able to take care of yourself if something happens for at least 3 months, preferably up to a year, at least a year in there or more. But let's start at 3 months and build from there. Because 3 months comes before 6 months or 9 months or a year, right? So let's get 3 months done. And then 0 to 1 year. That's one set of accounts. Boom. Then you have another set of accounts that's your 1 to 5 year accounts. What's that for, Gus? That's for things that you're looking to save or invest in that have a comma in them. And typically it's going to take more than a year before you have the money to put those things together. But if you don't consistently put the money away, and you have a put and take account, not a savings account or investment account, but a put and take account, you put it in and you take it out. You put it in and you take it out. You put it in and you take it out. We need 1 to 5 year accounts. These are for large purchases that you're saving for. And within those accounts, you may have, depending on how you're doing it with a computer or however you're doing it, this is goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that money is split up against those goals. But you got 1 to 5 year accounts. Then you have your 5+ year accounts that are for financial independence. Okay, what's your financial independence number? In other words, how much money do you need coming in every month? So coming in from some asset, businesses, real estate, intellectual property, meaning you've got a patent or something that you lease or sell to people and they pay you to use it. How much needs to be coming in? Okay. In America right now today, the median individual income is about $35,000, $40,000. Okay. Household income is about 75 grand. So let's take the average household, 75,000. So get your calculator. If you make 75,000 gross, you don't bring home 75,000. If you make 75,000 gross, That's times 75% because of taxes. You probably bring home about $56,000. Let's round that up to 60,000. Okay, so let's say you want to retire on 60,000 net dollars in your account. Net that hits your bank account, $5,000 a month. Boom. And you want to retire on that in sometime in the future. Oh, but you might have Social Security. Okay, great. How much is the average Social Security check? Do you know? Google it. Look it up. It's a couple $1,000. So let's say you get the Social Security check. But what's going on with Social Security, guys? Is it possible they're going to run out of money in like 2030, 2034? Have you heard that? Maybe they won't let it run out of money, but do you think they may reduce benefits or raise the age you can get it? Some way of stretching that money. They've done it twice in the past. Think they might do it again? So let's say you do have $2,000 coming in from Social Security. You need another $3,000. So let's just say it's $3,000 a month. You divide that by 0.04. 3,000 is 36,000, right? Divided by 0.04. You need to have about 900 grand saved. 900 grand saved by the time you want to have that financial independence, you can start collecting that Social Security. So you have $2,000 coming from Social Security and $3,000 coming from whatever assets you got. You got about 900 grand. Let's just round it to $1 million. $1 million? Huh. How long is it going to take you to save $1 million or invest and have $1 million? Let me show you something. What's a good retirement age? I don't know. Let's say 65 is like normal. Let's say you wanted to retire a little early, 55. Let's just say you could at 55. Okay. We'll take 65 because the Social Security is kicked in, okay? So you got your 2,000 coming in and your Social Security, and at 65, you got to have this $1 million, okay? Now, you guys ever heard of the rule of 72? The rule of 72. Here's what the rule of 72 means. If you take an interest rate and divide it into 72, tells you how many years it takes for your money to double. So the stock market grows at about 8% a year. The S&P 500, it's about 8% a year. So if you divide 8 into 72, how many times does that go? We call it gazenta. 8 gazenta, 72, 9 times. So that means every 9 years, your money would double. So let's say you want to retire at 65. Y'all got a piece of paper out there? Grab a piece of paper. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a piece of paper. I got a printer right here. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper. Okay. And I got a marker. I got a marker over here. Let me get the marker. See if we can get a big marker. Well, that's not too big. We'll get a marker. And at 65, we need $1 million. Can y'all see that? At 65, you need $1 million. Write that on your piece of paper. Now, if you're getting 8% return on your money, it takes 9 years, right? So 9 years before 65 is 56 years old. At 56, you need to have $500,000. Now, how old are you guys out there? Think about your age is coming up, and how much money you need is coming up. Let me know how you're doing, okay? At 56, you got to have 500 grand. Okay? 9 years back from that is 47. At 47, you got to have 250,000. Okay? 200. How we doing? How you doing? At 38, you got to have 125,000. At 29, you got to have 62,500. At 20, you got to have $31,000, 31,250. And 11 years old, what's 31,250? 31,250 divided by 2 is. Now look at this, guys. At 11 years old, you need to have saved $15,625. How many 11-year-olds you know got $15,625 saved at 11? 11 years old, they in 6th grade. Walk up to a 6th grader and say, hey, man, how much you got saved? You know you behind on your retirement? Like big time, bro. An 11-year-old. Gus, you're crazy. No, those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. That's why I said if you're saving 10%, you're going to be poor. Or 20%, you're going to be middle class. You got to be saving 30% or more, because here's what I know. Most of us at 11 didn't have 15 grand saved. And then we didn't have a strategy for having it grow at 8-9% a year. And this assumes no lost money. No lost money. How many of you have had a 401k or an IRA or something go backwards on you? This assumes no losses. No losses in your portfolio. And that's just to have $5 grand a month coming in when you retire. It's not a king's ransom. It's $5 grand after taxes. Okay. So you have to develop your starting line for 2024. You got to know where you're starting at so you can have a game plan for getting to this numbers. Do you hear me? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So what's your starting line? Where are you starting at? It's okay wherever it is. We just need to know where it is. A friend of mine, he's passed away now. He said the 11th commandment is thou shalt not jive thyself. Don't lie to yourself. Where are you starting at? So here's some places to start. 1, get your monthly budget solidified. Do you have a high interest savings account where you're saving money automatically? Automatically, you're saving money. Starting at that 10%, you're automatically saving money and going up from there. Do you have a plan to eliminate and get rid of your debt? Do you have a plan to grow your money tax-free? Remember, we talked about after-tax money. But if you start early enough, you can plan and you can put your money away in tax-advantaged vehicles so you got your cash coming back to you without it being taxed. What's your plan to make money on your monthly expenses? Say it again. What's your plan to make money on your monthly expenses? You can actually do that. The money that you pay your bills with every month, you could be making 1, 2, 3, 4% on that money. What's your plan to use institutional money, other people's money, to double your tax-free wealth accumulation plan? Because, hey, 65 is coming. We're running out of time. We're out of town. We're going to pick this back up next time. To get a financial discovery form, hit me up. Not me, hit somebody up, and let's get going and stop wasting time. You feel me? Hit me up. Let's do this. Let's get this done. We don't have a minute to waste, because at 11 years old, you're already behind the 8 ball. All right, this is Gus Tucker on Financial Freedom Fridays. There's hope. There's ways around this and make this thing happen, but not if you don't get started with your eyes open and with a plan. Okay? Y'all take care. I'll see y'all next week.